trapped by tragedy. Can Deacon escape his marriage to Sheila when she needs him most? Let's be real. We've all been in a situation where we felt stuck. Maybe it was a job, a lease, or a friendship that had run its course. But for Deacon Sharpe on The Bold and the Beautiful, that feeling of being trapped has reached a whole new heart-wrenching level. Remember that brief, shocking moment when it seemed he and Sheila Carter might actually make it? When he looked at the woman the entire world fears and saw something worth saving? Well, that moment has passed, and the cold, hard truth is setting in. Deacon's heart is no longer in it. In fact, it's miles away, secretly dreaming of the calm, stable presence of Dr. Taylor Hayes. But here's the kicker. Just as he was ready to make his exit, life, in its cruelest fashion, slammed the door shut. The tragic death of Luna Nozawa has changed everything. And now, Deacon isn't just tied to Sheila by a marriage license. He's bound by a chain of guilt so heavy he can barely breathe. A grieving grandmother and a husband's hollow comfort. Picture the scene. The holidays are supposed to be a time of twinkling lights, warm gatherings, and hope. But in Sheila's world, the lights have gone out. Whether you believe her grief is genuine or a masterclass in manipulation, the raw, visible pain she's displaying over Luna's death is undeniable. She's shattered. And in her moment of deepest despair, where is her husband? He's there, physically. He might even hand her a tissue or offer a stiff hug. But his eyes, they tell a different story. They're distant, looking over her shoulder, already searching for an escape route. It's a heartbreaking position for anyone to be in. When the person who promised to be your rock feels more like a ghost in your own home, the loneliness must be absolutely deafening for Sheila. She needs his strength, his comfort, his presence. Instead, she's getting a man going through the motions, his soul screaming to be anywhere else. Deacon's secret relief and the weight of his conscience. So, what's really going on in Deacon's head? Let's not sugarcoat it. Part of him, a part he's deeply ashamed of, is relieved. Luna's death, as horrific as it was, effectively took Sheila off the board. The El Giardino serial killer is no longer a looming threat to the people of Los Angeles. In the cold calculus of survival, this is a win. But that relief is immediately poisoned by a tidal wave of guilt. How can any decent man feel relief in the face of such a loss? How can he look at his grieving wife and not feel like a monster for his secret thoughts? This internal battle is tearing him apart. We've all had moments where our private feelings don't match what's socially acceptable, and the shame that follows is isolating. For Deacon, that shame is a 24/7 torment. He can't confess his relief to anyone, especially not to Sheila. So he bottles it up, and the pressure is starting to show. He's creating flimsy excuses to slip away. A sudden, urgent therapy session, a business call that just can't wait. We, the audience, know the truth. He's running towards the possibility of a future with Taylor, a future that represents everything Sheila is not: peace, normalcy, and acceptance. The ultimate moral dilemma: duty versus desire. This is the core of the drama, the question that has us all shouting at our screens. Is it ever okay to abandon someone in their darkest hour? On one hand, we're screaming, "Deacon, run! You deserve happiness. You can't set yourself on fire to keep Sheila warm." His desire for freedom, for a real chance at love with Taylor, is completely understandable. He didn't sign up for this level of tragedy and complexity. Staying in a marriage built on a foundation of codependency and fear is no way to live. But then, there's the other side of the coin, the human side. Luna may have had her flaws, but she was Sheila's blood. To leave a grieving widow alone just weeks after she lost her granddaughter feels cold. It feels inhuman. Can you imagine the court of public opinion in Los Angeles? Hope would be horrified. Brooke would have a delay. He would be branded the villain forever, the man who kicked Sheila when she was down. And this is Sheila Carter we're talking about. She's a master of emotional manipulation. She may not even be doing it consciously, but you can bet she will use this grief, this profound loss, as the ultimate glue to keep Deacon by her side. The unspoken question will hang in the air between them. How could you leave me now, after all I've lost? What's next for Deacon and Sheila? So, where do we go from here? Deacon is stuck in an impossible trap of his own making. He's emotionally checked out, already packing his bags in his mind, but his feet are cemented to the floor by the heavy concrete of guilt and social obligation. Will he sacrifice his own chance at happiness to play the role of the dutiful, grieving husband-in-law? Will he stay in a loveless marriage, letting his resentment build until it explodes, potentially sneaking around with Taylor and creating an even bigger mess? Or will he find a sliver of strength, that classic Deacon Sharpe resilience, and make the brutal but ultimately kinder decision to leave? To understand that staying out of pity is a crueler lie than leaving with honesty. One thing is for certain. The tension in that little apartment above Il Giardino is so thick you could cut it with a knife. Every consoling word Deacon mutters feels hollow. Every tear Sheila sheds is a new link in the chain holding him captive. We're watching a man drown in a sea of obligation, and we can't look away. The question is, when he finally comes up for air, will he be alone, or will Sheila be there holding him underwater? Keep watching, because the fallout from this tragedy is about to test the limits of Deacon's conscience, and no one, not the least of all Sheila, will let him forget it.